Hello, today I want to talk to you guys about a little thing. It's a video that I really been wanting to do. It's about the genetics of the Mexican people. Who are they? What is their ethnic composition? What is it on average and stuff like that. But however, yeah, you can say it really varies, like from region to region, from state to state. Even within the same state, it's actually very different. It can actually differ, even within the same state. Um, but we want to talk about what is the average Mexican throughout different regions or different states. What is the average Mexican overall? What is his genetic composition? And also, I wanted to say, like, for example, like, yeah, definitely like populations of Mexican people throughout different regions, and yeah, and pretty much want to talk about that. And some of you may ask, what am I? Well, I'm a mestizo, just um, typical or stereotypical Mexican mestizo, which is, for those of you who don't know, a mestizo is a mix of European and Native American. And I believe I am just about 50-50. I have actually, I'm very, very slightly more on the European side, actually almost nothing, but I also have indigenous, of course, and with a slight touch of sub-Saharan African, of course. And yes, I want to go over the different genetics and stuff like that, and yeah, I hope you guys bear with me, and yeah. Okay, so generally the rule of thumb is the more north you go, the more European admixture, and the more south you go, the more indigenous admixture you will see. And in the north, it will technically be somewhere from around like 60-40 to 70-30 maybe. Of course, more heavier on the European side than indigenous. Meanwhile, when you go south, those numbers actually get flipped the other way around. So it would actually be more 60 percent Native American and 40% European, and yeah, or 70-30. However, depending on the person. Another thing to note is that actually, oftentimes, even siblings maybe, is that no two no two people are actually alike in terms of the DNA and the racial composition. And in fact, even within family members, such as even brothers and sisters, they will actually look different. Uh, well, well, I'm talking about the mixed race people, of course. But yeah. Now, what is the racial composition of the average Mexican across all regions? What is if you were to take all 100 million of them and average it out? I It's very hard to say. Well, there's a lot of sources that say different things, but I would say they are very balanced. Depending on the source, they may say they are very slightly more on the indigenous side than the European side. Some sources say that, however, they are actually very slightly more on the European side than the indigenous side. I think that if that is the case, that they're more on the indigenous side, I think they are not quite as much as the same level as Peruvians or Guatemalans or Bolivians. Um, what I think it would be is it would be more like 52% or maybe at the very most 53% Native American. And yes, and this picture right here is basically a picture of basically hundreds or even thousands of Mexican males and hundreds or even thousands of Mexican females. And basically, you take the average face right there, and I think that picture looks very, very convincing, actually. I think by now almost nobody is exactly 50-50 mestizo, like exactly balanced. And I actually think actually it's very very hard unless if they were like a recent mixture. But however, when it comes to even mixes, I think probably Mexico is probably one of the closest or the closest thing there is on average to 50-50 mestizos. And yes, what another thing is that I haven't mentioned yet is that there are other races that entered into the Mexican gene pool, such as blacks and Asians. And you can actually notice this in states such as Guerrero and Veracruz and the Yucatan Peninsula. These people, they didn't enter in large amounts, kind of like Puerto Rico or Cuba or Dominican Republic or Venezuela or Colombia. And most of them, they actually assimilated to the Mexican culture and mixed in with the the local population. I don't, because the natives, I'm not referring specifically just Native Americans, but also the mestizos, castizos, and the white people as well, white Spanish people, and well, they basically got absorbed into the gene pool, and and nowadays, actually, the Mexican mestizo has on average somewhere in between 3% to um, probably even 9% sub-Saharan African. And yeah, the same thing happened with most of the European. Well, um, yeah, the same thing happens with actually not the Europeans, but actually the Colombians and some of the South Americans as well. But well, similar story. But I think to them it was for to a greater extent. And yeah, so what do I think the average Mexican is? I think he is very even, well, just very slightly more leaning towards the European side, towards the Spanish side, than indigenous side. I would say 55-45. Um, or actually, I would say just a 5% difference. Um, and then with something like 3 to 5% sub-Saharan African, and yeah, I would say more or less that's what the average Mexican is. And I thank you so much for watching this video. And yeah, as I said before, I will let you know on detail about my upcoming video. It's about my genetic composition and all that stuff. But yeah, I'll just show you like a little graph and chart, and yeah, tell me what you think. And yeah, just if you like this video, just thumbs up and comment, subscribe, and make sure you hit the bell for notifications. And thank you very much once again, and see you later. Bye.